Hello and welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have Peter on Elves leading out as they generally want to with some acceleration, but it's actually denied by Caleb. So Elves really enjoys untapping with 2 mana. Can make for some incredibly explosive second turns. And third turns as well, of course. The deck leverages those extra bodies very well thanks to Gaia's Cradle, a card that is past $1,000 for near mint copies. We're actually giving out some of those in our tournament series, thanks to the generosity of one of our viewers, Fee. Really helped us get this whole tournament series going. And we've got a fetch for Young Pyromancer. So a couple of 2-drops. ELVES Visionary for Peter. Caleb with Young Pyromancer. We'll see which one ends up doing more work. Glimpse of Nature into Allosaurus Shepherd. So it looks like Glimpse is just going to draw a couple of cards here. In all likelihood, just a couple of 1-drops. There are times where Glimpse is just a full-blown draw engine, Nettle Sentinel and Heritage Druid comboing to draw through potentially your entire deck. And I think that was a Quirion Ranger. Yeah, probably Quirion Ranger, maybe Finhorn Elves. We'll see what it actually does. We'll probably be able to piece it together. That looks like an old school text box. Yeah, I'm leaning toward Quirion Ranger. Oh, and Forked Bolt. Devastating. Taking out Elvish Visionary and Allosaurus Shepherd. Making a 1/1 on top of it. That is just huge value. And Ponder. Making another body. Really turning the corner there. Dreadhorde Arcanist was a card that would really leverage that type of kind of, what would you say, silver bullet? I mean, you might run more than one copy of it depending on your meta, but it really is incredibly strong in some matchups. A Wasteland used, and it looks like, did Peter just put it into his hand? He may have just picked it up with the Quirion Ranger. I think that's what I just saw. So Quirion Ranger. Now Allosaurus Shepherd. Stomp. Taking out another Allosaurus Shepherd. This guy does make stuff uncounterable, but only if he can stick around. And Blue-Red Delver has quite a high amount of options for removing creatures. A Dryad Arbor. I mean, it's a body. Peter going to be looking for natural order once he has lethal threats. Oh, is that actually what he's playing here? So this will not be lethal unless he has that Crater Hoof. So just +3/+3. So 12 damage potentially incoming. Yeah, Caleb's just going to go ahead and take that. A big life swing, but Caleb's got to feel pretty decent about the board situation here. Young Pyromancer can hold things off for quite a while, though it could go sideways very quickly with Allosaurus Shepherd's activated ability. Gaia's Cradle would be part of that in all likelihood. Getting to 6 mana, not the easiest thing, 1 land at a time, unless it happens to be Gaia's Cradle. Crater Hoof offered up for trade, just gets chump blocked. True Name Nemesis signing up to do blocking if necessary, but more than likely Delver is going to flip and Caleb's going to be able to push through 6 damage at a time over the course of several turns and just close this out. Gaia's Cradle, really dangerous. Oh, Delver not flipping. Bone Crusher Giant shows up. Another blocker. Caleb just needs to hold on here. Allosaurus Shepherd can make the next natural order uncounterable. And now Delver flips. If there is another natural order, that would be a disaster. Oh, Heritage Druid. Lightning Bolt. This may have to take out the Allosaurus Shepherd. And it does. Heritage Druid would have been able to help pay to give everything plus or base toughness 5/5. Everything getting blocked. Does Young Pyromancer? Yes, it does. Young Pyromancer eats it, but the crackback is going to be lethal. Peter goes all out there, but the blockers are there to keep Caleb alive. And those evasive creatures able to come right back for the win. Interesting first game there. We'll see what Peter has in his sideboard. Now, there are times where players bring in Progenitus. I don't actually know if this is a match. It doesn't seem like a great strategy to me, period. I don't know if this would be one of the matchups where people would lean towards doing that. It feels like it might be, because Blue-Red doesn't have a ton of great answers for Progenitus. I mean, is it none? I mean, it really is Edict effects, which are super tough to make work, barring running like a Plague Engineer or something. I mean, that works out fine. If you have Plague Engineer and an Edict effect, you're going to actually clear that some of the time. Now, Dryad Arbor actually does kind of ruin that plan. Fetch lands become very dangerous, but this could be a matchup where we see the protection from everything Hydra, if Peter does actually use the sideboard slot on it. Yeah, there's a few big green things that you can find. Archon of Valor's Reach, green and white creature that can shut some things down. I haven't been super impressed with that. It is good in some matchups, but I think there's like an Elder Scale Worm or something too that can create some really awkward situations with elves where it can just end up being a draw game. So Green Sun Zenith can always get shuffled back into your own library, just playing X equals 0. And you can just do that indefinitely. So you'll never actually run out of cards with elves, and if you have something that just keeps resetting your life total and your opponent doesn't have a way to remove it, and the same is true for both players, you actually end up in a draw. I'm not sure what the current tournament rules are for that either. Seems like if you won the first game, you just won the match. I feel like they actually had to do something about that. Nettle Sentinel, Glimpse of Nature. That gets denied. Force of Will. Nettle Sentinel turns sideways, hits for 2, and now another one shows up. This looks like a Pauper game here. Oh, did those... Oh, we'll see how this goes. I think he just untapped a Nettle Sentinel. Nettle Sentinel. Oh, okay. The sequencing, I think, was just... Alright, so everything's turning sideways. We've got a bolt. Making a body. We've got some blocks. Allosaurus Shepherd, and Peter is hell-bent at this point, I believe, from him crossing his hands. And what is this? Oh, is this the new Delve guy that you can cast the cards that he delves? Yeah, it totally is. It's like a commander card. Let me know in the comments. the name of that one. And also if those Nettle Sentinels all properly untapped. Got a lightning bolt. And another bolt. Oh, maybe the lightning bolt went to his hand and he cast it. That makes more sense. Yeah, I think it adds it to your hand and then you cast it. Only one of those creatures dead. But a nice little source of additional card advantage. Reminiscent of our friend Dreadhorde Arcanist, but certainly more aggressive in terms of the stat lines. Not tough to be more aggressive than a 1/3. Everything turning sideways. I believe that was Force of Will going to Caleb's hand, and it looks like he should be there in short order as this Gaia's Cradle just not looking spectacular. Previously, before all the elf carnage, could have been a very powerful card. As it is, just one elf on his side of the board. And everything coming together here. Another Pyromancer for Caleb. And that is actually gonna do it. As Caleb shows the hand, much of which we already knew, but yeah, just a commanding finish there. Just total domination down the stretch. As Izzet Delver shows a lot of new tools. Despite losing Dreadhorde Arcanist, it is a very viable and interesting choice for the Legacy metagame. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.